Welcome guys to our 20k budget build series. Tonight's episode we're going to show you what we bought, why we bought it and what the plans are for it. This series is a bit about what you can achieve in today's climate. Obviously over the past few years with COVID and all that, it has changed a lot of things. Cost of living has gone up, prices of cars have gone up, COVID tax, whatever you want to call it. It is still achievable to buy a car and build it under 20k, and we're going to prove it and still be able to go touring around this beautiful country. So let's get into it. So the big question you're probably wondering is, what have I bought? Well, I'm not going to let you wait any longer, so here it is. This is the first generation of the Colorados and is based off the platform of the first gen D-Max. This of course has got the mighty 4JJ1 motor paired with a 5-speed manual. So it's going to be great for touring and great for reliability. It has got a bit higher on the K, it's still not over the top. So it's got 296,000 Ks on the clock. So it's going to need a little bit of work, but it's still got a lot of miles left in it. So you're probably wondering the big question, how much did I actually pay for it? Well, it's not actually registered, so I was able to get it a little bit cheaper. So I picked this up for about $13,800, which isn't too bad in today's market and for its condition. Obviously there's going to be a bit more expenses to get it back on the road with roadworthies and rego, and they're all the things that we're going to add into this budget so that you guys get a clear idea of how much this really is going to cost you. With the budget of being only $20,000, we're not going to be able to fully accessorize this vehicle because it's not possible, but we can do the important stuff to get it into a touring spec of itself and show you guys what you can do just to get out there and enjoy it. So with that in mind, obviously we're not going to be able to fully kit this vehicle out because we don't have a huge budget left. But we are going to focus on the important things. 1, getting it on the road. 2, giving it a good maintenance check to make sure it's running right and it's going to be reliable. And then 3, the necessities to get out there and explore. Probably maybe some of them may not be. Just some important and non-important modifications you can do within a budget that will help you get out and explore this beautiful country. So we're going to be adding every single cost into this build because we want to give a realistic figure. Being non-registered, when I picked this up I had to get a permit to get it back here. That cost money, so we're going to add that into our budget as well because you can't not, So I picked this up in Sydney. Obviously I live in Victoria, it's a bit of a hike, so I had to get a 2-day permit. So that cost me a total of $26, which is cheaper than Victoria. So we'll get the calculator out and we'll add that up because I can't be bothered doing the maths on a Sunday, as you can understand. So the vehicle was purchased for $13,779 plus our $26 to get it back here. So that puts us at a total of $13,805, meaning we, so that means we have a total of $6,195 left in the budget to get this thing ready. It's going to be close, but I think we can do it. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you are buying a vehicle, you don't have to buy a vehicle that's completely bog stock. And what I mean by this is, it doesn't have to have nothing on it and be bare bones. If it's got a bull bar or a roof rack or a snorkel, that's a bonus, because that's money you don't have to spend. With this vehicle, as you can see here, we've got a roof rack already. It has got a 12-volt system, which is going to need a bit of attention because it's not done 100% right. But it's got a battery as well as some cable and all that I'm going to be able to use to help get my 12-volt setup right, which is less money that I have to spend. Also, we've got the canopy on the back here already, as well as some Titan drawers in there. Mind my computer there. And there's the battery up the back there. Don't look too closely because the previous owner didn't look like they know what they were doing. That's one thing you also got to keep in mind. If there are already accessories, you want to check and make sure they've done them right. In this case here, we've got a battery tray that's just tech screwed into the drawers. Not ideal at all, so we're going to be changing that and fixing that up. There's cables down the back there. It actually has a solar panel on the roof that's just been glued on, and then cables that have ran into the cab there that aren't even hooked up. So that's all going to have to be sorted out and fixed, because that's useless. But there are bare bones here that I can work with to help save a bit of money. So the first thing we need to do before we can build this up to be a bit of a tourer, we've got to get it on the road. So first thing is roadworthy certificate, so I can get the registration. That means there's a few things that need attention. Firstly, we've got tyres. So these front ones here, they're actually in mud terrain and they're not in very good condition. They're quite feathered. The other side's actually a lot worse. But when I bought this from the dealership, the rear ones were completely stuffed, so they chucked in some free set of road tyres, essentially. These ones here, that's not going to pass roadworthy, having different types of tyres. So we're going to have to get a new set of tyres. The rims themselves, they could just do with a little bit of clean-up, but they will be fine for this build. So that's one less thing I have to spend on, so I've only got to get tyres now. Another thing that I've got to get sorted is a new windscreen. You may not be able to see it on the camera there, but when you're driving in the sunlight, this windscreen has got pits everywhere from obviously stone chips and all that sort of stuff. That's going to have to be replaced because they won't pass that at a roadworthy, and it's actually quite painful to drive because you can't see it when you're in the sunlight. So that's going to get done this week. We've just got it booked in. I can't do that myself, so that's another thing that's going to cost. So up the front here, we've got a few little things that just need a bit of a tidy up for the roadworthy. Firstly is the headlights. May not be able to see in this video, but these are actually quite faded, so they're just going to need a bit of a polish just to get them back to brand new again, which won't cost me too much, and I can do that myself. That is a bit of a budget save because I don't want to be spending money to replace them, so we'll just give them a nice polish up and they should come up a treat. Nextly, we've got this light bar here, which you're probably thinking, oh wow, that's a bonus. You get a light bar. Yes, I do. It's not hooked up, so it's just sitting there, tech screwed into the bumper. That's going to have to come off because that won't be allowed to be on there for the roadworthy, but I may put that back on after the roadworthy and probably get a wiring harness so it actually works, which would be really, really good. But yeah, so we're going to have to rip that off with the roadworthy as well. And then this grill up here is taking a nice nasty hit. You can see right through here it's all cracked. So we're going to have to try and glue that all up just to make it sure it's going to be safe. And then I'll probably have to look at a grill replacement as well down the track. So the only other two little things are just interior things. So I'm just going to get some seat covers and a steering wheel cover just because they've obviously seen a bit of, I wouldn't say abuse, but you know, as things wear, they get older and all that sort of stuff, and used, it wears out. So we're just going to put some nice fresh covers on them just to tidy them up a bit. And then other than that, I think this is nearly ready for a roadworthy. So hopefully early next week we'll book her in and she'll be getting a roadworthy certificate, and then we can take it down to Vic Roads to get registered. So that's pretty much it for roadworthy. Well, obviously we'll show you through the process as we do it. Today we're going to just jack her up and just check the essentials like bearings and ball joints, make sure they're all good. Just give it a nice check underneath, make sure there's no big leaks or anything like that. And then yeah, so that's the build thus far. We'll keep you updated. Rightio, it's fire up time, I reckon. Chuck that in. Make sure the clutch is in because I don't want to bunny hop it. Listen to that 4J rumble. It's nice and healthy, it runs really smooth, that's really great. No real injector ticking noises, which is another good thing for a diesel motor. When we bought this, we actually, as soon as we got it, we put some fuel doctor through it. That cleans up those injectors and engines and all that sort of stuff really nicely, so it just gives it all a nice bit of flush out. It's a good thing to invest in. Also, we're probably going to do a full flush through, so we're probably going to buy a few spare filters and fuel filters, and just give it a big flush through with the fuel doctor just to make sure it cleans the tank and all that sort of stuff. Which, of course, when you do that, is probably likely going to clog a few fuel filters. So it's a good thing just to buy a few extras and then just give it all a clean, let it run it through, and that way it's good as gold. But yeah, that's how she sounds. Running like a kitten. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, just to give you guys a quick show into our new build series. Next time we're going to dive into it, so getting it ready for registration obviously, so we're going to get all that sort of stuff sorted that we were speaking about earlier, and let you know how that goes. Maybe we may not pass, maybe there might be something else that we've missed. That we'll show you next time, and then we'll keep a full budget on it, so we'll tally it up as we go. So far we're sitting at $13,805. I don't know, it's a bit close, but I think we'll do it. I've got a few things in mind that I want to do and I've already ordered, but you're gonna have to wait and see till next video. That's all for this video, and we'll catch you next time on the Rigs on Rigs YouTube channel.